Hello, Paul Pluta channel doing paid reviews. I'm wearing the sexy unshaven look. And don't forget, like, subscribe, tell your friends, the ones who won't lend you money if you were really stuck, about my channel. Today I'm doing an email for Edward. I'm doing a paid review for Edward. Hi Arch, check your PayPal account for $30. Big fan of your work. I need your help urgently. I've been saving to purchase my first luxury watch for the past year, and with the help of your videos have narrowed my choices down to two watches. Them being the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin Moon 1368420 and the Rolex DateJust 116233. Now I understand that the DateJust is the 116233 is the new model, and that you're probably going to advise that I look at the older 16 series. But personally, I have to say I really dislike the bracelet clasp on the older model, especially since I wish to purchase a two-tone DateJust. I find the steel clasp on the gold and steel bracelet looks unsightly. I'm 21 and I work in an office in London, so I wear a suit day in, day out. A few of my older colleagues have tried pushing me away from purchasing a Rolex as they feel they are too common and can look rather tacky. Also, as I'm a junior, I'm worried to give people the wrong impression. My colleagues feel that the Jaeger-LeCoultre would suit me better, as it's a great watch and is understated. I must say, over the past couple of weeks, I now feel inclined to agree with them, but I still feel the Rolex may be the better option, as it seems to look more versatile and it's a Rolex. What is your opinion on both, and which one do you think would be the best first luxury watch? Look forward to hearing your advice and watching the follow-up video. Keep up the good work. Best regards and thanks, Edward. Thank you, Edward. Very interesting question to be asking, and well done on getting your first luxury watch. Now, my advice to you is Rolex, 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 okay? Now, let me explain to you, Edward. At the current time, look, Jaeger-LeCoultre, I got to tell you, it is a incredibly soft brand. It would be socially irresponsible of me to tell you to go and get the Jaeger-LeCoultre when resale prices are flat. It's very bad market. Okay, so my advice to you, definitely Rolex, Rolex, Rolex. Now, just hear me out, Edward. Listen to me. The Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin is a cool watch. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. However, resale, I always say your first luxury watch, you really should get a watch that is on a bracelet, okay? Now, for you, if it's your first one, and I understand you're saying there, I think you may have chosen the wrong model. If I were you, I would say to you, instead of getting the steel and yellow gold one, I would go steel with the white gold bezel. This is a much cheaper option. The interesting thing is, in Singapore itself there, if you look at the prices of second-hand Rolexes in Singapore, you find that the steel with white gold bezel is actually more desirable than steel with yellow gold. Okay, so in Singapore they call the two-tone one an Ong Peng, an uncle's watch. An uncle is like a middle-aged 50 to 60-year-old man, okay? Now, that's not what you want to be branded as. I personally would say to you, you want it to be a little bit more discreet. I would go for the steel with the white gold bezel. I actually had lunch with a guy a little time ago who had the 116234, which is the steel and white gold version of yours. If you're buying it new, and I hope to God you're going to buy it used, but if you're going to buy it new, make sure you get a discount, because the DateJust are not as hot as the sports Rolexes. I would probably go for the Oyster bracelet instead of the Jubilee. I think you get those are kind of worth more on the secondary market. That'd be the way I'd go. I would go for a dial, white with Romans or Arabics. I'd try and get that, because you pick the right one, it'll be just a beautiful, gorgeous watch for a lifetime. The other option is black dial or a nice blue dial. That's the way I would go. I would say to you that, look, you're 21 years old, well done. You don't want to be, you know, if you got the two-tone, that is a bit showy. That's kind of like for a manager to have. The steel with the white gold is so perfect. It's so stealthy. It's so stealthy. It's not going to piss people off. And it's a Rolex, for God's sake. It's a Rolex. Rolex is oyster case. You can swim with it. As long as the seals are okay. If the seals aren't okay, you're in trouble. But it's such a cool watch. You can wear that every day. Jeans and joggers, you can wear it with anything. Casual weekend, put your DateJust on, feel good. There's nothing wrong with that in the least. So I honestly would say to you, look, just go for steel DateJust. Steel DateJust is cool. And if you're buying new, the Oyster bracelet option is cheaper than the Jubilee. And I think a little bit more heavy duty wearing. That's just my opinion, okay? You can go for the Jubilee if you really want it. But definitely go Rolex. The Jaeger-LeCoultre is a great watch, but they are so... Let me tell you, the secondary market for these is... Look, the problem is this, okay? You're a newbie, you're coming into it, you don't know how watch dealers work. You probably look on the used market in the UK and you can't see them being soft, but when dealers buy them, they will crucify. Just ring up a dealer who buys secondhand Rolex and secondhand Jaeger-LeCoultre and say, hey, I'm thinking about trading these two. What would you give me? Just do it as an experiment, because even though I love Jaeger-LeCoultre, it's such a cool brand, they have fallen. They're soft as ice cream left in the sun. Okay, so just my advice to you is definitely go for the DateJust. The DateJust is so versatile. It's waterproof. You can wear it everywhere. It's your one watch to have. Man, it's a watch for your lifetime. You're 21 years old. When you turn 30, you can get these fancy, you know, get a second watch like a Jaeger-LeCoultre. I'd get a Reverso. I think that's cooler. Get a Reverso, it's cooler. But as the first watch, man, get the DateJust. Get the DateJust. Steel with white gold bezel. 100% get the DateJust. 100% without a doubt. That is what to get. The DateJust is so cool. Man, that is just such a beautiful watch. So I'm not trying to give you the wrong steer, but the market for watches is very, very bad at the moment, especially Hong Kong, Singapore. Prices don't come down. They just, I can tell you now, you get a Jaeger-LeCoultre, very, very tough to sell. They are soft as shit. Have the Rolex, you'll always have your money. That's the thing about the Rolex. It may not be the best piece, horologically speaking. It may not be the best dive watch. May not be the best dress watch. But it's a Rolex. It's always... You got a Rolex on your wrist, no matter where you are in the world, it's a ticket home. You could be in some country, it's a ticket home. You can pawn it, hock it, and get a ticket out of there and get... You know, that's the thing about Rolex. It's it's an international currency. I actually got a fan of mine who gives his kids, when they turn 18, a Rolex. He gives them a sports, he's loaded, this guy. And he said, that's your ticket home. If ever you're stuck, you're in a bad position, you could always trade your way out of a situation with your Rolex that's on your wrist. And you try doing that with a Jaeger-LeCoultre with a moon phase. I mean, could you imagine that? It's not going to work the same way as a Rolex does. So definitely get the Rolex. I know what your friends at work are saying. They're trying to, you know, I understand it. But steel Rolex, that's what the real... I mean, these friends too, let me ask, if you ask them for £500 loan, would they lend it to you? Okay? So don't listen to these circle jerkers. You do what you... Rolex. You come into the Pontiff, I'm giving you the advice, okay? Later on, you can get these obscure brands. But now, first watch, gotta get a Rolex. You've got to get a Rolex. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer at all. And look, it's coming. I'm coming to you strong because I really mean this stuff. You've got to get a Rolex. I'm Paul Pluta. This has been a paid review for the Paul Pluta channel. Tell me what you guys think of that. Get the DateJust!